All right, I got to get this young couple fed in my story. The Holmgrens, the newlyweds, Heidi and Peter. Uh, and one other thing to tell you about this: the tower, the Watchtower restaurant combined, whatever. If you imagine a windmill in Holland, those huge windmills with the enormous sails, and the way there was a stone center and the struts went out and the floor went the whole way around. Uh, I'm sure, I don't know if you can bring one up from memory, but they were built much the same way. Uh, Railing around it, where the miller would tend to the sails. But anyway, there was a choice. They hadn't filled the fourth one yet. It was planned that there'd be four cuisines available: Chinese, Mexican, and standard fast food American. All it was just like a little counter, uh, and and they chose Chinese, both of them. They ordered their meal, and they were told that they could get it. They were given a little ticket, and they could get it up on the tower when they said they wanted to go up there. So up the stairs they went. And if you've got, I might be giving you the impression that they were alone or it was kind of empty. This wasn't. This had a lot of people there. There were these hotels, although the places that the couple had gone so far didn't seem crowded. The hotels weren't exactly crowded, but they were usually full or close to full, especially in the fine season. So there were a lot of people there. And when they got up to the top, and they got their food, and there were benches where they could sit around, and they ate their food. But people were getting kind of excited, and and they all were looking in a certain direction. It was north, and it seemed that they knew something that the couple didn't know. I guess because they were, all kind of waiting and looking, and where they were looking in the direction of the gap. Here the gap was huge, but it's the same gap that Mervyn had shown them in the distance when he stopped the carriage and gave that little talk about the fields and the Mennonites and the coming Amish. So they were all looking in that direction, kind of, and so Heidi and Peter, after a while, they stood up and they started to look that way too. Oh, and I should tell you that I'll wait. Because of the timing. They looked, and there in the gap. Now it was getting dark. It wasn't pitch black. It was evening. It was getting dark. There in the gap, they saw a light that was getting brighter. Down in the gap, it was gradually getting brighter and brighter, and then they could see there was like a plume of white smoke or steam or something, like a little bit of a cloud, and then almost like the moon rising, the light came around a turn, and there it was. They didn't know what it was at first. It took them a while to figure out what are we looking at, but then they heard the whistle. This was the commuter train. This was over Erstrink Railroad train coming back to Erstrink. Its day's work was done. It had made three, sometimes, or two, at least two, sometimes three trips back and forth to Holytown, which was the county seat, and it was coming back, bringing passengers, and to the train station. They hadn't even connected, imagined really that train station would actually be active, not just restored, but active, and even much less that a steam engine would serve it, but it did, and the people like to see its arrival, coming into the Sadler's Valley, down through there. It came, and it actually went then on the where they were, slightly on the far side of the huge waterway, which of course now they could see just perfectly, although it was getting dark. Well, once that excitement had passed, the tower emptied pretty quickly. And some people were probably going to hurry up to the train station to meet the people that they were waiting for to meet, because you could reach there by foot easily. Well, they stayed for a little while, and as I say, it had gotten quiet. There were a few other people there that also were just enjoying the quiet and the darkness, really. And then there was that carol on. It played the whole tune, and the dong was 8. It told them it was 8 o'clock. And, well, actually, I think it was 9, because it must have been, no, it would have, yeah, it would have been 9, because that's the last that the carillon played. It didn't play through the night. So 9, that kind of announced its day's work was done too, that carillon. Bum, 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 and 9. And so then they went down, and they headed back toward their hotel. And maybe, well, I'll tell you what that walk was like. They didn't go along it. There was a shorter way to get to the hotel, and then along that road that the carriage had brought them by. Or I keep calling them carriage, the buggy. And it was lit by footlights. Like there'd be a footlight, and then it was a path really. And on a little bit further, there would be a low pole light, and then on the left, and then on the right, another footlight. Well, there were footlights the whole way along. But anyway, they walked along that, and there were other people there. They weren't alone, but there were benches. And sometimes they would just sit in the benches and let the people go by to the hotel. So ultimately, they were able to be walking along that path by the lamplights alone. And now their world was, how to say, they were now becoming the whole of their world. Bye for now.